Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Hometown PTBO, brought to you by TransCanada Nissan. I'm Pete Dalliday. We got Dr. Ed here with us as well. We're going to find out more about this fantastic collection that he has. This is going to be a real treat for us. First of all, thanks for having us here. Happy spring, and it's time to rock and roll, my friend.
Yeah, it's been a while, right?
Yeah.
With this COVID. Yeah.
This kind of looks like my t-shirt collection a little bit, but mine are all 80s movies. These are all like bands and concerts you've gone to. Where did you get your love for music? Where did it all start for you?
Well, as we were talking, Kiss was the thing that got me when I was very young.
Yeah.
So I remember seeing them on a TV show when we were still living in Chile, because that's where my family's from.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing these guys in makeup and being like, wow, this is so cool. And the smoke and the blood and the fire. And from there on, that was it. I was hooked with rock and roll.
You're hooked, and now here you are. And how many concerts later? How many live shows? How many guitars later? Let's throw some numbers out there. How many concerts do you think you've gone to?
Hundreds for sure.
In the hundreds.
Pearl Jam alone, 40-ish.
40 Pearl Jam shows alone.
Yeah. And I was supposed to go to more last year, but everything got shut down.
Yeah.
So I still got tickets to the Europe shows eventually.
Foo Fighters?
Foo Fighters a bunch of times.
Yeah.
All those 80s metal bands, you know.
Metallica?
Metallica. I go see everything.
Yeah.
Adele was a great show.
Yeah, that would have been. Yeah.
Incredible.
One show that surprised you. You went and you're like, oh, let's go see a show. And you're like, whoa. Other than Adele. Was one that blew you away that kind of, threw you off a bit. Like,
Well, Gaga was great too.
yeah.
Yeah. Because,
ACC, or where did you see her at?
ACC, yeah. We got great seats for that. We got to see her really close, and she put on a great show.
Yeah.
I've seen Britney Spears. I've seen a lot of shows. I just love it.
One of the great shows that I went to that surprised me a little bit because the opening act stole the show was Lenny Kravitz opening for The Cult back in Maple Leaf Gardens.
1991, December 31st, because I was there too.
You were there? It's no way.
Yes, I was.
You were at that show?
That was a great show. Yeah.
See, I didn't know the year, so it was 91.
It was December 31st, 91. I was in first year of university, undergrad.
Yes. I was in so you were undergrad to become a dentist. I was deciding on what to do. I was in what do they call that, a gap year?
Yeah.
But amazing show, right? He stole the show, if you remember it. It was New Year's Eve, so.
I do remember the show. I remember less of the show as it went on.
Sure, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
but
right.
it was a good show, yeah. It was
so when
fun.
you moved from Chile, how old were you?
7.
So what was the first show you saw when you came over to, where did you go to?
Toronto.
Toronto?
Yeah, I'm a Toronto guy.
Yeah,
I grew up in Toronto. I remember my parents had a friend who was an executive at CBS Records at the time, Epic Records. So she was very nice to me. She took me to many shows in the 80s when I was just a young guy, around 11, 12, 13. I remember watching the Scorpions, Helix, Quiet Riot. My first show was Kiss, 1984.
That's a hell of a first show.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
So that's makeup or no makeup?
Unfortunately, I missed the makeup tour the year before.
Missed it by a year.
I wish I had seen that tour because that was the original.
Best intimate show, like small setting, 300-400 people. Like, I can't believe I'm in this room.
There's a Canadian artist by the name of Hayden. He's an acoustic folk guy. I've always loved him. His shows are really nice because they're very small, intimate kind of gatherings.
Yeah.
Those have always been really, really cool shows to see.
Peterborough.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that because the segment is Hometown PTBO. You've decided to raise your family here, raise the kids, set up shop here with the business. Peterborough is probably one of the most underrated musical cities in all of Canada. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah, it's crazy. The talent, the number per capita of musicians here, it's shocking, actually. I'm so surprised. But yes, absolutely underrated.
When you talk to your colleagues, are they shocked as well to hear that we generally, before COVID, and we will be getting back there, but put on like 15 free concerts every summer in the park?
No kidding, eh? Yeah, that'd be...
Like, how many towns can say that, right?
Right. Oh, absolutely.
I'm sure you've been down there a few times.
Oh,
sure.
It's great.
Any memories of, I remember sitting down at Delcray Park a couple years ago, last show of the year, and it was Honeymoon Suite. Obviously, they've seen better days, but big 80s band, right? And they're playing on a gorgeous summer night in August along the lake. I mean, what a setting.
Yeah. 5440 was great too.
Yes.
I mean, you know, 5440 is a beautiful band. They're amazing, and
They're
they're
my
still
Pearl
great.
Jam. Like with you, Pearl
Yeah?
Jam, I've seen 5440 probably more than, probably 15 times.
And how good are they?
Yeah,
They're so
right?
good. They sound amazing still.
Yeah. Okay,
Oh.
so if you could put one band in Del Curry Park for one night, you're flipping the bill. You bring them in. You're going to treat Peterborough to a show. You, along with Curtis Evoy, are going to bring in a band. Can't be Pearl Jam, though.
Oh, well, that was the obvious one,
All
right?
right, can't be Foo Fighters. But who would it be?
Maybe a little old school Iron Maiden to blow the city up.
Man,
And
the condo owners would
that'd
love
be really
that.
cool.
Yeah.
AC/DC would be cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right?
Someday. Hey,
Something like
dream,
that.
right? Why not?
It can happen. Elton John came here.
Did you sneak into the Neil Young show in Omimi a couple years ago?
I
Did you
know.
score a
I
ticket?
wish
No?
I could. I didn't know that anyone on the inside. I wish I did though.
well.
That would have been sweet.
Next time.
Oh, were you there?
Yeah, I was there, but I had to work my way in. I had to work as a roadie for the week. But
Well,
I
that's
think
hard.
I think Neil would like to see your collection. He's such a guitar guy. Let's quickly talk about the guitars, and then we're going to take a tour.
Sure.
So, how many do you have? I understand you're sneaking them in now. Is this true?
Well, I've got so many now. My wife doesn't can't tell them apart. So,
Perfect.
yeah, if I bring a new one, she doesn't have a clue whether it's a new one or an old one.
Right. And you're going to play a little bit for us as well?
I could play something
Okay.
there at the end, maybe.
Let's
yeah.
go for a tour.
Okay.
All right.
Cool. Well, Mesa Boogie's my favorite amps. I used to be a Marshall guy. You can tell back there I got a bunch of Marshalls. But then I discovered a band called Dream Theater, and the dude uses Mesa Boogies, and the rest is history, as they say. I love them all. I don't have a favorite. They're all great. I've got some kind of neat limited edition stuff. So this is like my favorite band being Pearl Jam. This is the guitarist's exact replica of his 1959 Les Paul, and so they only made 150 of these, and was lucky enough to get one of those. And this is actually really cool too, because this is a Dave Grohl limited edition replica of his Gibson. So those are really cool pieces. Fender products over here, so a bunch of Telecasters, which are really cool. You've got a couple of other 70 Strats here. One of these actually, I don't remember which one, but one of these guitars is actually a Jimmy Boskill, who's an amazing local blues player. You know, the iconic double neck Gibson there that Jimmy Page made famous, and buddy from the Eagles too, Don Felder.
What about your first Les Paul?
First Les Paul, beautiful. First Les Paul, this one. This is a beautiful guitar. So that's actually a funny story, because I used my OSAP money to buy that one in 1995. So thank you, government.
That's what they're there for.
Speaking of old, this is probably one of my most valuable guitars, if not my most valuable guitar. It's a 1964 Fender Strat. So that's an amazing guitar. That doesn't get played. We just look at it. If you walk around my house, you're going to see Pearl Jam posters everywhere. And they're all specific to a date, to a show. So this is the Wrigley Field shows of 2016. They played 2 nights at Wrigley Field. Those are all shows I've been to over the years. I've got another frame similar. And I've been lucky enough to catch some pics too. So I've been lucky to be pretty close to the stage on quite a few shows in my life. This is really cool because I remember my dad buying this album, not this actual one, but he bought me this Kiss Dynasty album back when I was 8 years old at Honest Ed's. I remember to this day, 8-year-old son, Aiden, to see Pearl Jam in Berlin. So we lined up and we had floor seats. It was general admission, because in Europe it's all general admission. And we were very close to the front. At the end of the show, Eddie Vedder gives my son the tambourine. So,
No way, that's awesome.
and then I stole it from my son.
Yeah, well, hey, you're protecting it for him.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Hometown PTBO with Pete Dalliday, presented by Trans-Canada Nissan.